Hello everyone! Do you know that some ants can grow a brain? Or maybe you know what basketball's black stripes are for? If not, don't worry. Today we're going to tell you about a bunch of impressive facts so you'll significantly broaden your horizons. Let's go! Golf ball. Every time you say these words, you immediately imagine a white ball covered with small dimples. But why does it have such a peculiar shape? Just an established design? Nope, it's all about air resistance. In flight, a zone of reduced pressure forms behind the smooth ball and slows it down. And here is how the dimpled ball flight looks. It leaves behind less rarefied air and moves faster. Too bad it doesn't work the same with cars. The Philtrum. Have you ever wondered where we got that strange dimple under our nose? To understand this, let's look at embryonic development. Our face literally adds up like a puzzle, and the groove is the place where the parts of the face connect. It seems that one secret of our body has just been revealed. Cat's tongue. You've probably noticed that when a cat licks you, it feels like touching sandpaper. The thing is that the tongue of these animals is not quite ordinary. Its surface resembles a Christmas tree with many needles. Each of these needles is made of the same material as human nails. Imagine that you are scratched by thousands of small nails. That's how cats lick themselves. But such an unusual tongue helps them better clean their fur and always stay clean. Speaking of pets, it turns out that cats and dogs drink water differently. Scientists have found this out quite recently. Dogs turn their flexible tongue into a kind of bucket and scoop up the liquid with it. But cats, well, they don't really like water. In fact, their weird tongue helps them out too. They just dip it deeper into the bowl and the rest is done by their tongue's needles. Thank God people have convenient mugs for all that stuff. Smartphone testing. Samsung Company checks its products very carefully. The company tests them in the harshest weather conditions and even throw them from a great height. How would you know otherwise if a phone can support the weight of a person? Invent a special installation, of course. We're not joking. The company really has a robot that has the shape of buttocks, which smoothly sits on the phone screen. And at the same time, engineers check whether the screen reacts to a random touch. Wild boar and fruit. What creature can be considered the filthiest in the animal world? Certainly not pigs and wild boars as people usually think. After all, even piglets wash apples before eating them. Look! Well, have we convinced you? We doubt that many animals care about their food cleanliness. Unusual behavior of wild boars was noticed by employees of a zoo in Switzerland. As a result of the experiment, it turned out that even very hungry boars wash fruits from sand and dirt. It seems that now we have to apologize to them for the unfair treatment. Tennis balls. Wimbledon is the most prominent tennis tournament, so its organization is taken seriously. Even the balls are special. They are stored strictly at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius and are changed every 7 games. Wait a minute, why do balls need strict temperature requirements? They won't melt, will they? It turns out that there is a special gas inside the tennis ball. If it gets too hot, the ball will get lighter and start bouncing too fast. Well, now you know how to beat your opponent on the court. Just heat the ball in the microwave. Cows bite. If you've ever been told, don't go near a cow, it will bite you, know that you have been deceived. In fact, these cute creatures basically can't bite a person. The reason is simple. Cows don't have upper teeth. The most they can do is press your finger to the roof of their mouth. Look for yourself. We agree that it's not a very pleasant sight, but now you know more about those who produce milk for your cappuccino. Basketball. Ever wondered what those basketball weird black stripes are for? No, they're not just eye candy. Now, this girl will explain everything. The black rubber divides the ball's surface into 8 sections and creates small dimples in it. They help basketball players better hold the ball at high speed and quickly change the trajectory of its movement. To sum up, if it weren't for these black stripes, we wouldn't see those crazy dodges and epic slam dunks.
What they've already seen.
Cotton candy. And now a question for all those who have a sweet tooth. How to make cotton candy? Okay, we'll answer for you. First, you need to buy a machine like this one, put sugar in it, and turn it on. It will start to rotate and at the same time melt the sugar, which will instantly turn into the thinnest web in the open air. But the most interesting thing about this process is that the guy who invented the machine was a dentist. Apparently, this is how he decided to increase the number of his regular customers. The moose mystery. All this time, the moose have been hiding something from us. It turns out that they also love diving. Look! Don't think this guy got away from a circus. Wild moose simply love to swim and can spend up to several hours in water. They hold their breath for a minute and a half and are able to dive 5 meters deep, collecting delicious seaweed. Remember, if you are being chased by an angry moose, don't try to hide from it in a lake. Cat's allergies. Cat allergies are terrible, but there is something worse. It's when the cat is allergic to the owner. Yes, it also happens. Bless you, baby. With an allergy, your pet won't sneeze, but it can become itchy. Therefore, if you notice your pet acting weird, don't catch it on video. You should rather just take it to the vet. Smart zebras. So, we have good news. The mystery of the black and white stripes is finally solved. No, they're not for thermoregulation or camouflage. Everything is much more interesting. With their unusual color, zebras are good at keeping flies away. In the course of experiments, scientists have found out that, for some reason, insects simply cannot sit on the striped surface. They either crash into it or fly past. So, zebras are not afraid of the tsetse and other bugs. Shark embryos. Hollywood movies show sharks as scary and bloodthirsty. Well, perhaps they're not that far off. It turns out that while a female sand shark is carrying babies, they devour each other right in the womb. Initially, several large groups of embryos are formed, and there is a bloody struggle in each of them. Just think about it. Out of a few dozen embryos, only 2 are usually born. No surprise that after such a troubled childhood, sharks just attack everyone. 42 cousin. Do you like koalas? We have good news for you. These cute animals have more in common with humans than you might think. Imagine, their fingerprints are almost identical to the human ones. Yes, many koalas have claws on their paws and quite a lot of hair, but only an experienced detective can tell the difference in fingerprints. Let's hope that criminals won't use this information for personal purposes. The third eyelid. Look at that ostrich. You have to admit, it looks pretty creepy, but that isn't the result of some strange mutation. That thing's called the nictitating membrane or the third eyelid. Many animals have it, domestic cats, polar bears, or wild eagles. The membrane additionally protects the eye from dust and moisturizes it, so these guys won't need drops if they sit in front of the computer for a long time. Friendly bears. These bear cubs are very friendly with this man, even too friendly.
There you go, good boy. Get some bud in there too. Come on, get some bud in there.
The reason for this attitude is far from the animal's kindness of heart. Young bears are susceptible to a very strange tick-borne disease. It causes brain fever and makes them trust humans. Because of it, the fearsome predators become similar to domestic dogs. Unfortunately, such individuals cannot survive in the wild, so they are taken to zoos, like this grizzly.
You see the bear down there?
Working in pairs. Here's an interesting fact that you would have never noticed for yourself. Our nostrils work in turn. While you're watching this video, one of your nostrils does 90% of the work and the other only helps a little. So when you're sick, your nose gets stuffed on one side or the other. The mechanism itself is necessary so that we can smell better, and the receptors are not overloaded. To sum up, the nose is a smart thing. Ant transformations. Don't be confused by the appearance of these ants. They were painted to keep track of changes in the hierarchy. The Indian jumping ant can shrink or enlarge their brains at will. This happens when the old queen dies or other ants decide to overthrow it. Then male ants choose a new ruler that will automatically shrink its brain and perform queen's functions. And the overthrown queen will turn back into an ordinary ant and enlarge its head. That's the behind-the-scenes games. Solar reflex. If it's a sunny day, look out the window for a second. Do you want to sneeze? If so, you're not alone. This girl even decided to make a selection of sneezes. Seems like she sneezes all too often. Scientists estimate that about 35% of the world's population suffers from solar sneeze. Not that they need a cure, but they would like to find out the reason for such a strange reaction, wouldn't they? Well, the most common scientific hypothesis is that it's all the fault of the trigeminal nerve, which connects the eyes and nose and responds to eye irritation. Fan rotation. Have you noticed that the ceiling fan can rotate in different directions, clockwise and counterclockwise? Surely now you want to know what the difference is. There is a physical mechanism involved. When the fan turns counterclockwise, the airflow goes up, and vice versa. Therefore, in winter, it is better that the blades rotate clockwise. Then the hot air will be evenly distributed in the room. A brilliant invention, don't you think? Computer screensavers. Do you remember the old versions of Windows where abstract patterns appeared on the monitor while the computer was in the idle state? Do you know the real purpose of these screensavers? They were certainly interesting to watch, but that wasn't the point. They used to protect lamp monitors from burning out. Those round-bellied square boxes with poor resolution? Don't worry, the current screens don't bleach, so you don't have to put flying squares as your screensaver. Hold on a second. Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action. Only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets. Don't forget to subscribe.